everyone, welcome to another video. This video is all about my old and new graphics card, so let's get straight into it. So this one that's here, this is the old graphics card. It's an FXX graphics card. Obviously, as you can see, it's two fans. Obviously, it's had its day. If you're all thinking now, why am I talking about an old graphics card? It's because, sadly, unfortunately, as they say, every dog has its day. In this case, every graphics card has its day. We all have to do that manual, boring job at one point or another of giving a wipe out or a dusting of the PC. And unfortunately, obviously while cleaning out the dust of this graphics card, it gave up. It was its last clean. Obviously, it's quite bulky, so I wanted to replace it eventually anyway, as it was, I don't think it was the right one anyway. Bit of a tutorial on it. I've never really heard of an FXX graphics card before. It's very unusual. I bought it off a good mate quite a while ago, because obviously, as we all know, graphics cards are not exactly cheap to buy. So at the time, a mate, he had a spare one, and I acquired it off him. But unfortunately, there are pros and cons to it. So if you look here, it's actually able for water cooling. So obviously these pins that are here, you can plug in the water cooling, which the water then goes through these, which are here, which then in the process it cools the motherboard down, which is one way of doing it. Or if your computer is compatible, you can have fans placed so it directly blows cool air, which keeps the motherboard cool so it doesn't blow up. For an FXX graphics card, I wouldn't prescribe it to even someone who's starting out. It's a hit and miss. Like always, different graphics cards are for different things that you want to do. In which case, unfortunately, this one, I'd rather throw it in the bin. The graphics wasn't that good, pixelated at the best of times. It overheated quite a lot, to the point where you touch the glass or you touch the back of the PC and it tended to overheat, which obviously scared me quite a bit. So in the end, I was kind of glad that it gave up. But yeah, so anyway, that one had its day. So what I did was I went on to Amazon, and I ended up getting this one. And it's a hell of a lot better, I think, than the FXX graphics card. It's an AMD Radeon RX 6500 XT. 1,000 million times better than the FXX graphics card. The pros and cons is this one, which is the Radeon RX 650 XT. I would say it's sort of the same thickness as the FXX graphics card, but obviously with the Radeon, it's a lot smaller, but a little bit chunkier. It fits in neatly to most gaming PCs. The fans are a hell of a lot better. It also has, I'm not sure what it's called, but it has the ability to turn its fans off and on. So it's kind of got a memory of its own. So if it knows it doesn't need the fans running, it will turn them off. And then if it knows, oh, hang on, I'm getting a bit overheated here, it will turn itself on, which obviously certain graphics cards, they don't have that enablement, as like this one, where your fans just constantly stay on all the time, which I do think in the you know, in the long run, your fans will just burn out. Obviously, the key features of this one, it says features. So the features is an AMD RDNA, number 2 architecture. It's DirectX 12 Ultimate, AMD Fiddly FX Super resolution, which is quite good. It's hardware ray tracing. It's a GDDR6 memory, which is a hell of a lot better than what I had in that, because that didn't have nothing. It's a PCI Express 4.0 support, so that's really good. It's got AMD FreeSync technology, which I'm not too sure about what that is.
It's the sync software, so when you're running a game, it comes up and shows you frames.
There you go. DisplayPort 1.4 with DSG, very, very good. It's also HDMI 2.1 VRR compatible. Video streaming up to 8K. Very, very good if you just want it for streaming. Radeon VR ready to premium, which is quite good. Radeon image sharpening. That might be that's about the image. So if you want really good images, this is the one to go for. Radeon anti-lag. So if you've got graphics cards that lag, go for something like this or another brand which is anti-lag, but it will tell you under the features list, which is right there. And it's also game driver optimization as well. So that's for the features. It's a hell of a lot that's listed. You might think, oh, hang on, there's a hell of a lot there, but every single one of these, the more I seem to think that the more that's listed, the better it will be. Specifications. So it's your GPU Radeon RX 650 XT. The memory size of it is a 4GB GDDR6. Memory bus is a 64-bit, and the output is a DisplayPort times 1 HDMI times 1. So that is definitely it's definitely done me.
It's also worth noting as well, when you're buying graphics cards like this,
yes,
they have to be required to your PC. You can't just put any graphics card in any PC.
No, you have to. I would say, look on your motherboard, do your research, because depending on what your motherboard is, depends on what graphics card it will take. You can't just go out and buy a graphics card and expect it to just, oh well, it will work. Sometimes it won't be enough, and nothing will happen, or you'll buy one and it will overpower your motherboard, which could potentially blow the whole lot up. Yeah. So I would definitely strongly advise you to do some research. Definitely look at your motherboard, and always read the terms and conditions and all the features of the graphics card that you're looking at.
The nice thing with AMD is they print their system requirements.
They do, yes, which is
box.
Actually which is the minimum system requirements, which tells you everything that you would need to know. Obviously, check that as well within the settings on the PC. Obviously, it all obviously it states it here. It also says that the minimum operating system that this graphic card needs is a Windows 7 or a Windows 10 or a Windows 11, because obviously it's a 64-bit operating system. So I wouldn't go too mad on it, but this will do any of those Windows. Anything lower than a Windows 7 or of that, I wouldn't strongly advise it. And obviously, as yet, there's nothing over Windows 11, because Microsoft hasn't invented it. It's got Vulkan support. which is actually quite good. It also gives you, it also says for more information on the ADMN radon, which is listed in the instructions. So if you need any support, you can directly contact AMD radon. And it's also VR ready. It comes with a premium, VR ready premium Vist AMD.com VR/VR ready. So
if
yeah,
you've got a VR headset,
yeah,
it will support.
So if you've got a VR headset, it will definitely link in straight away. You shouldn't have a problem.
How much was that graphics card?
Right, so for that graphics card, it was £174 off Amazon. Obviously, I paid for the Prime, so I got the next day delivery.